Warehouse gate flung wide, folding tables everywhere, and some kid in a polo shirt telling me my business was now community property. If that's not a punchline for the world's dumbest joke, I don't know what is. Coming off a road trip that left me more caffeine than blood, every bone in my body aching, all I wanted was to load my gear and get on with my day. Instead, there I was, just after sunrise, gravel crunching under my boots, standing in the middle of my own warehouse, staring at a scene that made less sense than a fever dream. This building, every inch of it was supposed to be mine. 7,000 square feet, steel walls, a monument to 20 years of busted knuckles and second mortgages. The gate had never been left open, not once. And yet there it was, arms spread, like it was inviting the whole damn neighborhood in for lemonade. No broken chain, no busted lock, just open, bold as brass. Inside, the tables were lined up right by the roll-up bay, cheap plastic, the kind you see at HOA barbecues where no one actually likes the potato salad. Chairs stacked neat, a big old display board, and smack in the middle, the Timber Hollow Community Storage logo printed in Comic Sans. Nothing like being robbed and insulted at the same time. For a good minute, all I could do was stand there, mouth open, brain trying to reboot. Then I walked through the side door and saw what they'd really done. Everything was moved, not stolen, just rearranged. My insulation foam gone from its usual spot, replaced by stacks of folding chairs. Bins marked seasonal decorations, meeting records, and even lost and found lined up next to my commercial shelving. A bulletin board zip-tied to my beams. Another sign, dead center, do not remove items without HOA coordinator approval. You ever felt your eye twitch from pure disbelief? That was me. Then the door creaked. Enter Ryan. Early 20s khakis, Timber Hollow polo, lanyard, swinging like he's here to check IDs at a club. "Can I help you?" he says, voice trembling just enough to let me know he's new to this level of confrontation. That question nearly sent me over the edge. "You're asking me that. Who the hell are you?" He tries his spiel. Access coordinator, Timber Hollow Estates. This is now shared storage per approval from our HOA president, Mrs. Billows. He points at a memo he claims I signed. My patience, never a particularly sturdy thing, snaps. This is private property. I own this land, this building, every screw and every wall. "Who told you to set up shop here?" he stammers. "Says," Mrs. Billows said. I agreed. "You better get everyone and everything out of here, or the cops will help you do it." He wants to call Karen Billows. I want to call an exorcist. Instead, I call 911. Standing in the parking lot, arms crossed, I take photos of everything, the tables, the signs, even a Civic with plates I don't recognize. Cancel my job in Ogden. Wait simmering as two cops pull in. The younger one frowns as I show them the deed, the signs, the community picnic inside my warehouse. He says Mrs. Billows claims this facility was offered for dual use as a community hub. She says she has written consent. I snort. She doesn't, because I never signed a damn thing. Right on cue, Karen Billows herself appears, Lexus, gleaming hair, perfect expression like she's here to host the Oscars. "Officers?" She purrs, then turns to me. "Mr. Darrow, let's not escalate. I just point and say, get your stuff off my land." She pulls out a manila envelope and hands it over. Inside, a memo of intent, my name, my signature. Only the signature's a bad joke. Not even close to mine and dated for when I was at a supplier conference out of state. I say so flat out. She folds her arms, mouth pursed. "Sorry you're confused, but we had a meeting, you agreed verbally, and then you signed." I practically shout. I wasn't even in the state. The cops look at each other. Civil matter, they say, unless there's forced entry or danger. So be it. I wrap the gate and chain, call my lawyer, and settle in for one hell of a Monday. Didn't sleep that night. Not fear anger. That brand of anger that keeps you awake, replaying everything, thinking up all the comebacks you should have thrown at Karen's smug face. I kept seeing her, kept hearing her voice, and every time I blinked, the fury simmered a little hotter. Next morning, I'm back early after paying for private patrols and changing every coat I could. First thing I check is the security feed. The camera over the east gate is tilted down deliberately. Climb up, fix it, note the time. Sometime after 2 in the morning, someone came back. Inside, it's even worse. New bins labeled Community club furniture my drill press pushed aside, a weird credenza I don't own wedged next to the fasteners. A rolling whiteboard covered in HOA bullet points and a smiley face. This isn't squatting. This is moving in. Photos. Videos. Call security. Get the real story volunteers in Timber Hollow polos. Unloading from a van claimed they had permission. No written proof. Unbelievable. I call Lisa, lay it all out, the forged memo, the break-in, the new decor, my tools being rearranged. She doesn't even ask if I'm joking. We're going scorched earth, she says. Digital forensics, criminal complaint, cease and desist letters, and if they don't comply, it all becomes abandoned property. As the legal gears start grinding, I upgrade everything, locks, alarms, cameras, the works. Then I post a public statement in the Timber Hollow Facebook group. The warehouse at 27 County Ridgeway is private property, not part of your HOA. Any claims otherwise are fraudulent. Remove your stuff in 72 hours or it's mine. That post, as you'd guess, got attention. Comments pouring in, some sorry, some pissed, Karen herself chiming in about neighborly spirit and verbal agreements. Her words, not mine. No signed contract, just more gaslighting. I screenshot it for Lisa. The days blur together. HOA members show up demanding access. I laugh, point to the new signs, and tell them to walk. On the third morning, things escalate, front door lock, forced chain cut. Inside, it's a madhouse, dozens of tables, banners for Community Day, even a popcorn machine whirring away. In the center, a custom HOA branded display made with my missing laser cutter. That's the last straw. I call the sheriff, send over security footage, rented box, truck van, people unloading, one in a hoodie going straight for the lock. No legal right of access, no easement, nothing. When the deputies show up, they're just as stunned. One even jokes it looks like a school fundraiser exploded inside. As we walk the floor, Ryan shows up again, clipboard radio, looking way out of his depth, now that the cops are involved. This is now a criminal trespassing investigation, Deputy Raines says, and I hand over another forgery of my signature, this one even more practiced. This just became a forgery case, she says. And there's video. Ryan's not arrested, but he's not smiling anymore. I keep digging. Find the planning binder, 3 months of scheduled events, budget allocations, even a letter to the zoning board requesting my warehouse be reclassified for community use. Not just squatting, they were trying to steal my building with paperwork. No rest for the wicked or the wronged. The next day, security calls again, motion sensor tripped, burned plastic smell in the air. I race over, see the scorched door, the pile of debris, a propane torch still warm. Security cam caught a hooded figure pulling up in a black SUV. He lowers his hood and there he is, Chase Billows, Karen's son-in-law. I recognize him from those first community storage days. Lisa calls just as the sheriff's taking my statement. HOA's already filed a zoning application with forged documents trying to push an emergency variance. Chase cracks under questioning. Karen told me to scare him off, make the place look unsafe. Suddenly, it's not just a handful of clipboard warriors. This is orchestrated. Lisa drops a $500,000 lawsuit, the news catches fire, and now Karen's name is everywhere, local news, Reddit, even HOA watchdog blogs. The Timber Hollow HOA board unravels, resignations, apologies, and a social media storm. Anonymous envelopes show up at Lisa's office full of emails and meeting notes. Secure physical presence before rezoning. Karen writes, if he pushes back, say it was a communication error. Another email. If we can't get him to cooperate, create the perception the warehouse is unsafe. A well-timed code complaint might help. This is organized. Now it's not just me and my lawyer. The district attorney's involved. Criminal conspiracy, forgery, attempted arson, the works. Karen's lawyer tries to settle. $50,000 and an NDA. Lisa doesn't even let me finish laughing before shutting that down. The harassment escalates. Anonymous fire marshal reports code violations every time I'm ready, paperwork in hand. Finally, the DA's office opens a criminal case. Karen's facing real time. The HOA dissolves. The community starts over. I sell the warehouse, buy new land in Idaho, build a quieter life with a sign at the door. No trespassing, no HOA permission, no exceptions. Justice, it turns out, doesn't always come in the form of a gavel slam. Sometimes it's a stubborn guy, a stack of evidence, and a lawyer who doesn't blink. But here's the thing, the scariest part wasn't the bolt cutters or the fire or even the forged documents. It was how quickly a handful of people so sure of their own good intentions decided my property was theirs for the taking. How easy it is for power once abused to twist neighborliness into something ugly. So where's that line between community and control? At what point does defending what's yours become something bigger? Something for everyone who's ever been bulldozed by a board or a neighbor with a little too much authority? Maybe you've been there. Maybe you fought your own war against a board, an HOA, or just someone who thought your boundaries were just a suggestion. Who was right? Who was wrong? And where exactly does justice draw the line? Let me hear your story. What side were you on, and what did you learn? Because if there's one thing I know now, it's that justice takes its time, but karma never misses. And sometimes it's just a guy with a lock, a lawyer, and enough grit to outlast the noise.